You've heard Suge Knight's jaw-dropping claims about Sean Combs. Now Usher and Justin Bieber are teaming up to pull back the curtain on what happened when they were just kids in his world. Knight told Michael Frenzy in prison that Diddy sent a young Justin on romantic vacations with grown men and showed Instagram photos with no one else around. He called it the saddest thing he'd ever seen, words that cut deep because they came from someone who knew Diddy's world inside out, and because they involved two of the biggest names in music finally speaking out together. We'll walk you through key evidence, play the raw clips that never made headlines, and piece together the timeline from those brief early days. We'll let their own words lead the way and show how two bright young talents got caught up in something far darker than fame.
Alright, Usher, Justin Bieber, Diddy. This is how they all connect. When Usher was super young, he got signed to a guy named L.A. Reid, this famous music executive. Usher then loses his voice. L.A. Reid wants to help him, get back on track, so he sends him over to this guy named Puff Daddy. And as you can imagine, Usher had a problem. He just didn't know it yet. See, Puff Daddy was this up-and-coming music executive who could really turn someone into a star. He put them through this thing called Flavor Camp. And during Usher's term in this Flavor Camp, he lived with Puff. And in Usher's words, he would see questionable things. He said at any given time, you can open the door and see a bunch of random people playing Netflix. He said he would be up all night partying when all he really wanted to do was go to the studio. And this is when people speculate that Diddy did something to Usher. Now, I need you to listen to me. I'm gonna give you the evidence as to why people believe this, but until you hear words from Usher, Diddy, Justin Bieber, nobody knows anything. All right, so Diddy and Usher are in an interview with Kevin Hart. Diddy said, "Hey yo, pause, when Usher used to live with me, we used to wrestle for Frosted Flakes." Kevin Hart said, "What?" Diddy said, "What?" And he grabs Kevin Hart and pulls him off camera because Kevin Hart doesn't have a filter. After Diddy's Flavor Camp, Usher comes out with an album called Usher. It has really explicit details about watching Netflix. And of course, the album was executively produced by Puff Daddy. His mom was like, "Yo, what the?" So she grabs Usher. You got former bodyguards coming out saying, yeah, Diddy was very inappropriate with Usher. There's a rumor that Usher got sent to the hospital because of an encounter with Diddy. In fact, rumors have been circulating for like 20 years about this situation. Which brings us to Usher and Justin Bieber. See, Justin Bieber was coming up in the same way Usher was, like when he was super young. L.A. Reid again found Justin Bieber. Usher and Justin Timberlake both wanted to sign Bieber, but Bieber chooses Usher and Usher basically becomes a mentor. Now Usher then sends a young Bieber to Diddy for 48 hours. And in this interview, Diddy's saying stuff like, "Man, Justin is doing things that any 15-year-old would dream of doing." And the thing that's always kind of annoyed me about Diddy personally is he's always towing this imaginary line in interviews. Because of his ego, he has been snitching on himself in interviews. If you listen, he'll say something like, "Justin be having a really good time with me." If no one acknowledges it, he'll be like, "But I can't say too much."
Now, one person that knows what's the saddest thing in the world is what they did to Justin Bieber.
What was that?
That's sad.
What'd they do to him? Because there's a lot of speculation out there, but nobody. I mean, I've heard things, but what did they really do to him?
They had sex with him
When he was a kid?
I hate to say that. I hate to say that because I really like Justin Bieber. I feel bad for Justin Bieber. And this wouldn't have happened if Justin Bieber came from a wealthy family. Justin Bieber pretty much came from a poor family, but the young man was so talented, and he could have been bigger than Michael Jackson. But the question of the drugs and the stuff he allowed these grown men to do to this little boy is unhealthy, and it's fucked up. No grown men supposed to be getting high and doing drugs and drinking with a kid. I mean, you had grown men would take Justin Bieber. A grown man take Justin Bieber when he was young to a vacation, a romantic vacation, showing pictures on the Instagram with no women, nobody else but a grown, successful man and this little kid. And even if you and I was going on vacation together, and regardless if wise, mad or not, it's definitely not going to be in me and you. It's going to be mad because we're going to have some there. Or I'm not going to be sitting on a romantic island, just you and me.
Hell
you
no.
know what I mean?
Hell no.
I'd rather take the chance. I'd rather take the chance of my girl saying, "Hey, you out there having parties and all, you right." She damn sure ain't going to say this, you and I on a romantic island, that's us. First part about it is, everybody said what was done to Usher, and they done to Justin Bieber. And the thing with Usher spent the night and him and Puffy be in the same bed to do an album, and they never did one song they put out at that time. On top of that, when I met Usher, I came on one time, I'm speaking to the guy because he got good songs. That's out of respect. Like a young black man. This dude rolled his eyes at me. And so somebody came over and kept saying, Suge, you know, don't have one of your guys do nothing to him. He a good young man, but him and Puffy got a thing.